Hey everyone, it's Melissa with the M Word. If you're new here, I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kiddos. I have a 9-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. Today's video is our 3rd grade read alouds that came in our Timberdoodle 3rd grade kit. So we get a non-religious customized Timberdoodle kit every year. Well, this year we had a 3K kit, a pre-K kit, and a preschool kit. And you can probably hear my kids unloading the dishwasher in the background. And hopefully this works. This isn't my usual setup, but I was working today and there's a whole video coming out on that in a couple days. That's an update of what's going on and everything. So that'll be in that video. Dogs are making noise now as well, but I'm gonna go ahead and get into the read alouds. There's always quite a few read alouds, but I did notice that because a lot of the curriculum they pick has read alouds in it, my 3rd grade kit seems to be a little lighter on the actual books than previous kits have been. Well, the handbook is here. As always, there is a reading challenge in the back, and that would look like this. Our reading challenge is non-religious because we choose the non-religious kit. However, if you choose the religious kit, your reading challenge suggestions, which will be like on this page, those will have religious themes to them. Well, can have religious books in them. Well, the non-religious kits have different suggestions in their read alouds for you to pick from. And there is a total of 36 challenges in the 3rd grade Timberdoodle handbook. Once you are completed with the challenge, which these would all be read aloud books, something you would pick out either from the library. I found a lot of them you can get from the library. I've also found a few of them like by searching them on YouTube and finding like read alouds that way on some of these. On to the items that are actual books. So in the Timberdoodle curriculum for 3rd grade, the only book for sure that comes in the Timberdoodle kit is going to be this Disasters in History book. It comes in the history section. This is a graphic novel. It's set up like this. My kids love this. They enjoy sitting, like basically we all sit in this chair, all 3 kids and myself, and we just go through it. Well, they look through every single one of them. It has different disasters throughout history. When we read this, we just read one chapter at a time. I put a bookmark in it, I shut it, and I wait to read the next one. The other thing, you can swap it out for these books, is one of the options. I chose to get both of these. I think there's a couple other options you can swap it out as well, but these are the ones that I wanted. I wanted these and I wanted this Disaster in History book, so I have them both. These are the America in History series, so we have the Fight for Freedom. The New World is what we're currently reading, so I don't have it here. The United States Emerges. It goes all the way from the 1500s to the 1976. And it covers the Civil War, the World War, World War I, World War II. It's done also in a graphic novel way. However, I have noticed that there's a lot more text in these books than in the Disaster in History one, which I think is why they switched to using mainly the Disaster in History one as coming automatically, and these ones got swapped out because these are longer to read and they can be a little harder to read. But I think the information in these is important and I want to keep using these because I plan on doing American history for 2 years in our homeschool. The other read alouds that I will show you are technically just the curriculum. Because Timberdoodle picks a lot of literature-based curriculum, there is gonna be a lot of read alouds just in your natural curriculum. So for example, we use All About Reading. So this just happens to be one of the books I grabbed. This is one of the books from level 2. This is what your child is gonna read themselves. So I just dropped my bookmark. And they're just little short stories that All About Reading themselves created and made to go with their curriculum. They are still a book, they're still read aloud. However, it's not like you could just go to the library and pick this up. But I do still count it as a read aloud. I think it's very important to read with your kids and have your kids read to you and all that. The new science, the Discover Science, is written very literature based as well. Timberdoodle also uses Story of the World for their history. I personally choose to not use his Story of the World. However, that's also written literature based, and the history that we replace it with is also literature based. So it's kind of very similar in that sense, where I would consider that a read aloud as well. And then of course Mosdos is what comes instead of All About Reading in the 3rd grade kit, and I would consider this a read aloud too. They are stories that are very wholesome and generally good stories. Like you don't have to worry about the stories, and I like that about these. I like that about Mosdos. a lot of the times right now, we're using this very heavily just for the literature approach. It is a read aloud literature-based curriculum. It is Mosdos Press literature. Like, that is what it is. The Secret is a poem by Emily Dickens. They have The Story of the White Sombrero, and that is a Mexican legend. There's usually a longer story in each one, and then there's a short, either short story or poem at the end of each chapter as well. Like, so this is Across the Dark Sea, the Mayflower Journey. And that's a fairly long, like the longer version of the story. So it's like 4 or 5 pages long. And then towards the end, there's like this world, the world with its countries. And then there's like a little poem here by John Cotton. Honestly, the stories in here, they're good. If you just pick up this book, just this one, you can just pick up this one. Read the story with your child and go through the review questions with them. If you struggle answering the review questions, open up the instructor guides and go through that. That would be my suggestion on the condensed way of using Mosdos without going into all the actual details. If you want to use it correctly or the way they say you should, the Timberdoodle handbook explains all that, as does the Mosdos instruction manuals. Like, they all say that. I personally, we pick up this book only, we read it, we talk about the discussion questions together, and I feel like Callie gets enough of her language arts through, because we're still doing all about reading, and she still gets her creative writing through a few other things that we use, including Timberdoodle has other creative writing things that come with the Timberdoodle 3rd grade kit, that I feel like this can solely be her literature exposure. That is all the things that come in the Timberdoodle 3rd grade handbook that I would consider read alouds or literature based in general. If you have any questions for me, please go ahead and leave them in the comment section below, and I will talk to you guys later.